Hey everyone, welcome back to Discovering NL with Kevin. In my last reaction video, we explored some of the unique slang words and phrases from Australia. And if you haven't yet seen that video, check it out right here. This is it. Watch that one. You guys really seem to enjoy that. I really enjoyed that. But in the comments of that video and in a few others, a lot of you mentioned that I should check out the Royal Flying Doctor Service. So today, that's exactly what we're doing. This service, I'm told, plays a crucial role in delivering healthcare to some of the most remote parts of Australia, and I'm excited to learn more about it with all of you. Before we jump in, however, please don't forget to like the video that here, where we at there, subscribe to the channel, and of course, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. Without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Let's go right here.
The Reverend John Flynn, in his early days, developed the thought that aviation could be the avenue to deliver healthcare to rural and remote Australians. I call him a radical in many ways. He believed that by improving the healthcare of rural and remote Australians, that he actually could then help in the development of communities.
So I'm just going to pause for 1 second because I have to ask the question. He might mention the video, so I'm probably jumping the gun on this. But if he doesn't, let me know in the comments below. I live in Canada. We have universal healthcare in Canada, taxpayer-funded healthcare. Is it the same for Australia as well? I'm wondering before you, because I thought about asking the question and looking into it, but I figured I'll just let you help me find the answers. I don't know if this Royal Flying Doctor Service is part of the part of that. Is it a volunteer? Is it funded, like crowdfund? Is it donations? I guess we'll find out more. I'm probably jumping the gun on this, but I'm curious about healthcare.
And so this visionary individual, nearly 100 years ago, developed what essentially is the Royal Flying Doctor Service today.
Wow, 330,000 people. That is crazy.
In May 1928, the first flight in an aircraft called Victory with Arthur Affleck, who was the pilot, and Dr. Welsh flew from Cloncurry to Julia Creek. And that, in essence, developed the whole idea and service that is the Royal Flying Doctor Service. In that first year operation, the RFDS saw 255 patients. Today, we see over 290,000 patients in a year.
That is crazy. I mean, because I remember how big the country is. So yeah, I can only imagine. Wow. Because we have volunteer search and rescue here where I live. That's kind of cool. It's phenomenal. Michael's story. All right, who's Michael?
We just went back there to have a bit of a look at it all, see if we could see any marks or anything, and check it all out. The helicopter itself was burnt out completely. So wow. Yeah.
We'd been mustering some cattle that morning, and I was flying the helicopter.
You can see the marks. I'm assuming it's probably burn marks. He was obviously in a helicopter, maybe the pilot. Remote, obviously, right in the middle of nowhere. That's scary.
To cough and splutter, which was a bit nerve-wracking. It eventually cut right out, so I did an emergency landing, and then the helicopter rolled over. And then when it rolled over, it exploded.
We went up to the house and tried to call him on the two-way, and there was no answer. And
okay, Australian slang. He said two-way. He's referring to like CB radio. Try to call him on the CB radio. That's two-way. And I got another question I want to ask now before I go any further, because I keep forgetting to do this. So I live in Newfoundland, and I guess technically or more officially or properly, we're known as Newfoundlanders. But many of us Newfoundlanders refer to ourselves as Newfies. Others will do that as well, not knowing that it's more like a term we use amongst ourselves, and many consider it a derogatory term to use, so we don't really promote the use of Newfie outside of the province. But I hear a lot of people from Australia referring to themselves as Aussies. And I'm curious, is Aussie a term only for Australians to refer to themselves? Or can I use that term? Can the rest of us use that term when referring to Australians? Let me know in the comments below. Let's get back to the story on Michael.
We immediately were very concerned.
I knew my brother was eventually going to come back because he was helping me muster the paddock. Then Dad was probably 5 minutes behind him in the Toyota and came and just sort of sat with me until the ambulance arrived.
I was concerned that he wasn't going to live, you know. You'd think that I'd be right by now about it, but it's still an issue for me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you almost lost your son, or you thought you lost your son.
At Augathella, the RFDS guys were there waiting. We met them at the Augathella hospital where they had to stabilise me before I flew.
If it hadn't been for the flying doctors, I don't believe he would have survived. And it was pretty reassuring to see him heading off with people that knew what they were doing.
And sorry I'm pausing it so much. I really want to get through this video with as little pausing as possible. But another question just came to my mind that I was thinking about, and I don't know if they're going to answer it, so I'm probably just thinking and asking prematurely. But it was started by a reverend, yet it's called the Royal Flying Doctor Service. Did it receive royal assent at some point?
I know when Dr. Ellis was flying me down in the RFDS plane, he said that a few times my organs started to try and shut down and stuff, so I was probably on the edge of death, really, yeah.
That's scary.
Wedding for us, we knew he was moving on and getting on with life.
Well, everything's moving along pretty well. Like, we've bought a little place now and got a family going, and life's good. The RFDS are the lifeblood of a lot of the communities. Well, they saved my life, so everything, really, yeah.
We're at Gilberton Station in far north Queensland. It's a historical station, so we've now got 7 generations on the station. We've utilised the Flying Doctor many times over the 7 generations, I guess, as long as back as the Flying Doctor's ever been going. My mother used to say, God help me if the Flying Doctor ever stopped. And I never understood it until you had kids and grandkids, but I fully understand now, you know, just how important they really are. It was certainly a lifesaver for us on a number of occasions. Knowing that they're only at the other end of the phone, they're only a phone call away, and having the medical chest that the Flying Doctor supplies us with, the fact that we are so far from civilisation, and the fact that you can just get on the phone and talk to the doctor and know...
So do they have their own unique number, or would you just dial the emergency number like 911?
Like 6 or 7 hours drive just to get a medication is really important.
And yeah, did they just deliver meds as well like that? I wonder.
The Royal Flying Doc's Field Day program visits remote areas of far north Queensland, and it provides people living in those remote communities and outback stations with the opportunity to get health information, learn new skills around health, and also to access a clinical service, so a doctor. We usually go out to cattle stations. We invite the neighbours from all the surrounding region. We bring a range of health professionals with us. We bring a doctor, a nurse, a mental health professional, myself as a health promotion officer, and any other extra guest speakers that we might want to have. When we have a field day, people do come together, and it's a great opportunity for them to keep those wonderful connections.
That's phenomenal. Oh, they have their own clinics as well?
In rural and remote communities, it's just not as easy as going around the corner to see your local GP for a problem. So RFDS definitely brings the service to people where they don't have to drive 4 or 5 hours. The range of people that we see is huge. We deal with a couple of hours old right up to the palliative care settings. So we deal from, you know, birth to death As you can imagine, if we're dealing from 0 to 100, you also get that full range of medical things. So everything you can ever imagine, we've probably come across at some stage.
So is GP, is that general practitioner? Is she a doctor?
And gets to trust them. And so part of what RFDS tries to do is that if there is a regular clinic in a town, that the same doctor goes back every week, or at least every fortnight. And over the course of sort of 2 or 3 or even 6 months, people get to know.
Did she just refer to a time span and using fortnight? I haven't heard that word used other than the bloody video game that drives me insane because my kids play it a lot. Do you guys use that often? Because honestly, I'm not, aside from the video game, I'm not entirely sure I know what a fortnight really is. Full disclosure, I probably sound like an idiot right now. Yeah. I don't think I do. Do you use that commonly in Australia?
When the doctor comes, because it's a regular clinic, they get to know who's going to be there. It enables the community to have some stability, and that's really, really important in health.
We look forward to the visit of the doctor. Every Monday we feel very confident and relaxed about it. As soon as you sit down in there, you know what's going on and they know you and all that sort of thing. I had a heart attack here a few years ago and I drove down here. I don't know how I done it, but I fell in through the gate. The nurse came straight down me and got me straight away and straight onto the flying doctor. The flying doctor here was no time and had me out down in Cairns. It was fantastic. I got 10 out of 10 for them.
Amazing.
To me.
I really love the type of people I get to work with. Rural folk tend to be interesting characters who are also very stubborn and strong all at once. They're wonderful people. I remember doing just a health check on a teenage lad. It was just a normal health assessment. There was nothing that had stood out at all. And I went, oh, let's just feel your belly. I went, oh my gosh, what's going on with this liver and spleen? And he was on the transplant list within a very short period of time.
Wow.
It would have been missed if we weren't doing screening. Screening is really important because people don't think about these things. They don't look for things unless they're told to look for them. One of the advantages of doing skin checks is I look for different things to what a layperson might look for.
So I used to be a kickboxer, believe it or not, and I'll never forget how I've met kickboxers over the years, and some of the stories I've heard from some of them. When you're in competitive sports, you have to get regular blood work done. So you go to regular physicals, regular checkups, regular blood work, and all to make sure that you're fit to fight, but also that you don't have anything like a blood transmitted disease that you can transfer to your opponent in the event you bleed. And I remember hearing some stories of people who, if not for the fact that they were kickboxers and having to undergo this kind of stuff, that they would have missed on several potentially life-threatening problems. So even though I'm no longer a kickboxer, I still get this stuff done regularly. And if you're able to do that, I highly recommend you do the same. Don't skip on these very important checkups with your doctor if you can. Just like she's talking about, I mean, teenager, everything seemed fine, and then all of a sudden, boom, on the transplant list, liver, spleen, scary stuff. So that's a general note. It's even more amazing to hear that you've got a service like the Royal Flying Doctor Service who can do this in remote areas where a lot of these patients would otherwise not have quality access to a doctor without having to drive, as one person mentioned, 4 hours. That's a long time to drive to see a doctor.
If you haven't got a connection, if you haven't got a relationship with someone, they're less likely to be interested in what you have to say. In providing ongoing care in a community, you can make that connection and you can make a positive change with their healthcare.
The tyranny of distance is huge. Even to get to these little clinics, people might drive 2 hours to get here. Take it away, their health's going to suffer. Each town is totally different from the next. Sometimes I'll meet the mothers during their pregnancy, see them through their whole pregnancy, and then continue on with them. So I have particular families that I'd seen them through their whole pregnancy and then get to see the kids grow up too. So you become part of their family, and It's really nice. And because the women know you that well, they'll tell you what's really going on, which sometimes takes a long time.
This is my first pregnancy. I'm happy, but I'm a bit nervous at the same time. Every time I see the doctor and everything, and it takes my stress and nerves away. So just to check if Bub's heartbeat and everything's all right and it's going good. The nurses and the doctors and everything will love Bubby, yeah.
I mean, things that we take for granted. I know things that I would likely take for granted. My wife and I have 4 kids, and, you know, we both went to the doctor, of course, me following, as the future father, regularly, and, you know, never really took consideration, I guess, for the fact that maybe there are people that don't have that ability, but thanks to programs like the Royal Flying Doctor Service, so many of you in Australia have that. I just want to say first, before we can finish this, thank you to everyone who recommended I look into this, because I have more questions. I do. Maybe you can help me answer them in the comments as it revolves around healthcare in Australia. But I'm so happy to hear, thinking about the vastness, because I know in one video I learned that a lot of Australia is around the coast. You guys shared this with me in the comments as well. So these remote areas, there's so much remote areas in Australia. It's such a huge, huge country. Canada has a lot of that as well. When you look at, you know, the majority of Canada's population are on the border of the Canada, the U.S. There's so much above the border of Canada, U.S. that is just vast and rural and desolate in some places. So to know that something like that exists is absolutely phenomenal. But they still haven't answered my question how they became the Royal Flying Doctor Service, and they still haven't answered yet about fees, if there's any fees associated with this, or how everything is paid for. Is it part of the universal health care that you guys have? If you have it, I don't know. Let me know. If they don't answer this in this video, please let me know in the comments. Wow. See this? Be still my heart. Oh, children. It's heartbreaking to see children in such medical need. I have 4 kids, man. It's the scariest thing in the world as a parent. But she looks like she's in good hands.
They have very big personalities. Little Miss Emily over here, she's definitely the talker. She chats all day long. Chloe is a very big wriggle worm. When they were born at 29 weeks in our local...
I'm sorry. Babies get me. I'm a sucker for babies. And they're twins and they're super cute.
Hospital. They were flown within hours of their birth down to the NICU in the Royal Women's Hospital. They were in the isolette, which they shared together. They were one at each end. They were just a bit bigger than the size of our hands. It's very different to have a premature child compared to a full-term child. The girls were in critical condition on their way down. They would have had to get to Brisbane one way or another, but being able to do it by the flying doctors so quickly meant that they got the best medical care they could. They make you feel very calm the whole time. If we couldn't have gotten to Brisbane when we did, they really wouldn't be here today. I got my first cuddle on Christmas Day from the both of them. I think it's just very big relief to be able to see them and hear that for their condition, for their age, that they were doing really well.
So we, like I said, have 4 kids, perfectly healthy birth, all of them. Never had to worry about this kind of a scare or fear.
RFDS dental service.
Wow.
Travel around to remote communities throughout central Western Queensland.
Okay, so right there in Canada, we have universal healthcare. Doesn't include dental. Got to pay for your own dental stuff. Luckily, my job, I have insurance, so you know, it's good. It covers our family. But yeah. So this is cool. I'm interested in this as well, I guess. Even optometry, like I do wear prescription glasses. I don't wear them so much when doing these videos because I do have a light up here and it reflects and it just looks terrible. That's my big pair that I wear. I have a smaller pair as well. But yeah, I mean, you know, insurance covers all of that. We'll see what happens here. I don't know if this is going to include it as well, but interesting to see dental.
Delivering a much needed dental service to people who generally have a limited access to dental care. We provide a range of different dental services, anywhere from preventive dental services all the way through to restorative and oral surgery. People often haven't been to the dentist for a very long time. Poor oral health is associated with a number of systemic issues. Not only are we helping improve people's oral health, but we're showing that the Royal Flying Doctors isn't just an aeromedical retrieval service, but they're here to improve people's well-being.
Mental health as well. Wow.
Predominantly, I'm doing one-on-one counselling. The modality I will use will depend very much on the person in front of me. People need this service because it saves lives. The thing about primary health care is that you can't measure what you prevent. And the sad truth is I pretty much have discussions about suicidal ideation most days. A story that stands out for me was there was a station hand that came in and he had plans to take his own life. We worked pretty hard over 4 sessions to bring some perspective to his thoughts and to help him work through his own grief and his own issues. He was already judging himself and he was so mindful of everybody else potentially judging him that he hadn't felt that he could open up. So to have that safe environment where he could talk about where he was at really, how he was feeling really, and in the end he said something beautiful to me that actually makes me feel quite emotional. He said, I have to live 2 lives now and I have to make my life count, and I'm going to. Human beings are social beings and we are wired for connection. And when you step into that space with somebody, you create brain change.
You can feel my heart beating right now. Okay, so in full disclosure, I have been battling with depression since I was really young. Clinically diagnosed as a teenager with depression. It doesn't go away, really. You learn to cope. You learn, you know, great ways of persevering, I guess, despite the thoughts that you can't control and the ways that you feel from time to time. And knowing that this is a service that they provide as well, I mean, I'm starting to get emotional here. Because it's great to see doctors saving lives like they are. The dental part is really cool, you know, hearing those stories, but she's absolutely right. Preventative measures, you can't measure life-saving preventative measures, but I can tell you this much. If it weren't for some of the help I received over the years, be it professional and through relationships with friends and family, I probably wouldn't be here today. I've been there. I know what it feels like. Yeah, so, wow. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. I can see that. Phenomenal. Wow. 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 I'll shut that one off very quick, but wow. What an amazing service. What an amazing service. The dedication of the Royal Flying Doctor Service, you know, there to help in remote areas. I mean, it's inspiring. It's inspiring. It really goes to show, I guess, the spirit of helping your fellow man, no matter the distance or the challenge. Thank you for recommending I check this out. Still didn't answer some of my questions. Maybe you can answer them in the chat for me. Let me know. Universal healthcare in Australia, let me know. Not only that, if there is universal healthcare, what does it cover? Does it cover, like in Canada, it's just, you know, your doctor stuff, right? Dental, no. Eyes, no. We do have like clinicians for mental health in Canada that are covered under universal health, but we do have the private sector as well, which is oftentimes better because when you have a universal healthcare system, that doesn't cost anything out of pocket other than the taxes you pay. People flood to that. Whereas the private ones, you know, not so much. So I'm lucky. I'm very blessed with my job to have the insurance coverage to be able to pay for all of this stuff for me and my wife and my kids. So we go the private route more often. But I'm wondering, let me know in the comments down below, what is included in Australia's healthcare system, assuming you have a universal healthcare? I don't know if it's a combination, if it's a mix. I think like every country under the Commonwealth have universal healthcare. I think I could be wrong. I know the U.S. does not. You know, take it or leave it as you will. But let me know in the comments what the healthcare system is like in Australia. And this Royal Flying Doctor Service, RFDS, is that included in that, or is there a fee for that, or how does that work? Is it, you know, run by volunteers and funded by donations? It did say royal. I don't know. Does it have royal assent, or was it royal added to it? Like, I didn't really explain that one to me as well. I knew it started in the 1920s by a reverend. I guess that's, but wow, what a service. I would honestly love to hear your thoughts. I would love to. Before watching this video, if you're not from Australia, did you know about the RFDS before? I only heard it in brief in comments, and so I was excited to get to learn about this. Let me know in the comments below if you're not from Australia and this is your first time hearing about it. What are your thoughts on it? Share that and ask questions in the comments that I might have missed. Maybe some of the viewers from Australia can help answer those questions for you as well. As always, if you did enjoy this reaction video, please do not forget to go ahead and like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Woohoo, I did it. So you don't miss out on any more videos with me. I did recently upload a video as well on touring in L'Anse aux Meadows, Newfoundland Labrador, Viking settlement. If you haven't checked that out, please do so as well. It's on my YouTube channel. It is the L'Anse aux Meadows Viking settlement. I did do a live tour on that. And please don't forget to check out the socials in the comment, in the description down below. And through the socials, you can find out where you can join me on my next live virtual tour. And as always, I have a contest going on over on Facebook and Instagram. I'm looking to get to 500 followers. That's it, 500. It's not a lot. If you can help me get to 500 followers, I will be doing a giveaway of a Newfoundland themed prize pack that I'll be giving away to one of my lucky followers. 500 on Facebook, 500 on Instagram. So if I get 500 on both, that's 2 prizes I'm giving away. That's contest is open until I reach 500 on each. So please, if you want to help me do that, if you want to enter for a chance to win that, that's what you got to do. Get over there to my Facebook and to my Instagram. All of the links for all of that stuff are down below in the description. Folks, thanks so much for watching this video. Until next time, bye for now. Did you enjoy that video? Well, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you didn't miss out on any of our future videos. Also, check out this one right here. This was a good one. You might enjoy that one, or maybe that one there is more your style. Either way, check them out and enjoy.